This is what's wild in New Hampshire by wildlife biologist Eric Orff. Well, out for a Sunday drive, Sunday, May 7th, 2023. Came down to Londonderry Fishing Game Club, Kids Fishing Derby, but I had to stop by Little Cohas Marsh. Here's Little Cohas Marsh, a place that I hung out a lot from age 12 on when we moved to Londonderry from northern Maine, from Mapleton up by Prescott. And anyways, we moved here in '62, and this marsh was about maybe a mile or less behind my house, down through a couple fields and through the woods, which took me right over there. I can show you. Right there is where I would come out, and it kind of narrowed down. It kind of squeezed the ducks as they flew along here. So I got to see some ducks up close. Hunted this marsh starting at age 16 in 1966. This is a 200 plus acre marsh wetland created by the New Hampshire Fishing Game Department, because back in the 50s and 60s beaver were just coming back to the state. Here's Ginny. Anyways, so I'm back to Little Cohas Marsh, taking a look around, and what is very interesting to me today, Londonderry, southern New Hampshire. Look at these maple trees. We don't have leaves. We're late. The leaves are late this year. Spring has come late to our trees in New Hampshire. They normally have leaf out the first week of May. And even here in southern New Hampshire, the leaves are not out. This is interesting. Mild winter, but our spring has kind of drug on. Today and yesterday were the first warm days we've had in almost 2 weeks. It's been running 10 to 20 degrees below average, cloudy and raining. We get 5 inches of rain 3 or 4 days ago over a couple of 3-day periods. So water is flowing, everything's high, and well, just looking. Spring's running late. Spring of 2023 in New Hampshire. There's a couple of geese. Let's take a look at them before we wrap it up. Got to see some geese. Geese? There were no geese. When I grew up in Londonderry, there were no geese. Well, things changed. There were no geese. There were no coyotes in the 60s. And now we have more wildlife in greater numbers than since colonial times, really, for a long time. Bears statewide, yeah. And for me, the roots of my conservation thinking and hunting and fishing and learning about the outdoors started right here at Little Cohas Marsh, and thanks to some nurturing, mentoring from the folks at the Londonderry Fishing Game Club. Yes, they did. They helped me move my career to where I became a wildlife biologist for 3+ decades for the New Hampshire Fishing Game Department. And I used to come down here every winter and check the duck boxes at Little Cohas Marsh. And of course I built some when I first joined the Fishing Game Club in '64. Had them fund the money to get some lumber, and I built some duck boxes and added them to the fishing game ones here and began checking them. And my duties decades later was to check the duck boxes for the New Hampshire Fishing Game Department at Little Cohas Marsh, right here. Yep, I love this marsh. This is wildlife biologist Eric Orff. What's wild in New Hampshire.